Hello, and welcome to Voices of Leadership. Today's conversation is one that I have been looking forward to because it touches on something I truly believe leaders need to think about more deeply about right now more than ever. So, as we go through this, please feel free to let us know where you're calling in from. Feel free to ask questions as we go along because we want to make this as interactive as possible. So we hear a lot about culture. We hear a lot about people first leadership. We hear a lot about purpose driven organizations. But the real question is what happens when doing the right thing becomes harder, more expensive, slower, or less convenient? That's where leadership actually shows up. At Equals Y, we focus on the E3 leadership code: express plus engage plus execute, powered by emotional qualities. But here's the thing that I always like to remind leaders: leadership is not about what you say, it's about the decisions you make under pressure, how you treat people, what you tolerate, what you reward, and whether your values still hold up when business gets difficult. Because leadership is not either people or performance. The best leaders know how to do both together. And that's why I'm so excited to invite Diana to this conversation today. Diana Ciechorska is the founder of a growing commercial cleaning business, Park Slope Cleaning, here in New York and in Miami. Over the last 6 years, she has intentionally built a company focused on fair wages, trust, consistency, operational discipline, and treating people with dignity and respect. What stood out to me immediately when we first met was that Diana does not position conscious business as idealistic or unrealistic. She talks a bit about it as a practical leadership and sustainable business. So, Diana, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. Um, when we first spoke, you talked about your belief of doing the right thing and running a successful business were not opposites. But in an industry where many companies cut corners, underpay workers, and treat people as replaceable, you intentionally chose a different path. Can you share with our audience a little about why that matters to you, how you got started in this business and the philosophy that you've taken to start this business?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kathy, for having me. I really think that leadership also starts from you. I think it's a really wonderful community you're building here. And it really takes a lot of these conversations to more people. And it's important that we just talk about the things that we're all kind of feeling. There's a way to do things the right way, and there's a way to also make money from it and lead people. It just takes people talking about it and saying what needs to be said. Um, so my experience here has been really a learning process. I approach the business like I have done other things academically. It's just really writing out the goals and writing out what the ways to get there are. So when I started the company, I had a couple of values that that lead the company. Of uh, is there a way to get great jobs into great communities, Park Slope, and New York City, and then expanding to Miami. Um, is there a way to put all those things together without kind of losing focus on what else is really important? So uh, these are things that I've been testing in the market, and I have seen when I do things the right way, when I'm paying a better wage, I have better employees. When I am treating my clients with a better experience, sending more supervisors, getting more feedback, doing the kind of things that are outside of my um, the typical way that cleaning companies act in my industry, I see a lot of great results. So it's all really led by the data that I have that backs it up.
Amazing. There's so much I want to unpack there. But first, let's talk about, so you're running a cleaning business, and you're focused on businesses and helping clean.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the business.
Yep. We are a commercial cleaning company operating in New York City and Miami. We primarily clean offices. So nightly janitorial cleaning, 6 o'clock, everyone gets out of the office and we come in with crews and we reset the offices. So surfaces, vacuum mopping, bathrooms, trash. But what we do different is that we don't subcontract out the work. So typically in this industry, and I encourage everyone to ask their cleaning companies, do you subcontract out the work? Typically, some big cleaning company, Green Squeaky Cleaning, or whatever they're called, they get the contract and then they sub it out to somebody who's just not who's not a real company, or who doesn't have the insurance, or who isn't doing supervisor checks. And so that's what we do, and we do that across the New York City and Miami.
So did you wake up one day and say, I want to
Yeah.
start a
Yes.
commercial cleaning business?
Exactly. No, I've always had a professional background. I've had a finance operations background at a couple of different companies. I started at JP Morgan. I moved on to an investment fund. I did business school. I came back to another tech focused company. So I've always had that mix of things, and I've seen a variety of things that go well and things that don't go well. And a lot of those things I've brought to this. And then I've also had some entrepreneurial failures, which have led me to create a successful company, which is, I think, also critical.
Yeah. So you knew you wanted to start a business. You had that entrepreneurial spirit. Why commercial cleaning?
Honestly, I made a big list of companies that I would like to start. They were all kind of blue collar in the basis of it, but how can I apply some sort of corporate, with my corporate background plus the blue collar aspect? How can I put those two things together? I was on my list. I put up a website. People started calling, and then it just took off from there.
I love it. And so was it on day one you said, I want to do this differently? So you specifically started out with, I want to be a conscious business?
I would think that it came together pretty quickly. The name was Park Slope Cleaning from day one. I think Park Slope is kind of liberal leaning, but still in New York City. So it's like a nice mix of consciousness, but also still like a neighborhood that still needs revenues to grow, and people pay real rent and real mortgages here. So I think it came from the beginning, but it's the couple of years of experience and seeing what works and what doesn't that brought it together. And really also when I met you, I was saying all the things, and you're like, that sounds like this, and I didn't know that was a this. So
So the term conscious business,
yes,
that was
definitely
not in your top of
no,
mind.
not at all. Not at all. I think it came. All the pieces started coming together from experiences I've had at companies with bosses and managers and different clients that I've interacted with. And I know how much you can push and what you can't push against. And reality is we need to make money. Realities, the company has to be profitable. But the other reality is people need to feel good about it. They need to go home after their shift. They need to feed people. And it's not the one employee that I have a relationship with the one employee, but it happens to fan out to the 5 other people in their immediate household, which multiplies across cities, and it all really relates to each other. It's not leadership is one piece. The leader or the executive in any kind of organization is one piece of the puzzle. It's not an independent piece. So I talk about this internally, that I'm working with everyone. I have one piece of the puzzle, and I'm here to push the revenue, but then you guys are here to deliver on the product. And I couldn't do it without all 3 pieces: client and crews and myself. So
Yeah. And when you and I were talking and we first met, it was like all my worlds coming together, and I'm like, oh my God, this is to be able to meet a business owner that is applying these principles. So for the audience that doesn't know much about conscious capitalism, it's a movement. It's based on 4 tenets. That it's you have a purpose, more than just making money. And you've heard Diana start talking about that you care more than just the shareholders of the business, that you have a conscious culture and a conscious leadership. I was introduced to conscious capitalism in 17, and that was a big catalyst for me to start the business Equals Y. And a lot of those tenets are part of the E3 leadership code: express the end vision, engage your people, execute, and all powered by emotional quality. So that is what I've learned also in corporate. When you treat your people right, that's when your customers are happier, and that's how you drive profit. And so there's a whole virtuous cycle to what you're doing. So, I really give you a lot of, and I love the fact that you just consciously knew that in your heart without knowing there was a structure for it. So let's talk a little bit. In the introduction, I talked about dignity and respect. and treating your people. And that's a term my dad said that to me all the time growing up that I think is so important. But that's a big part of who you are and how you treat your employees. How has this helped you of treating your people with dignity and respect, bringing them on as W-2 employees? How has that helped you in the business from a metrics perspective?
Yeah, I think it's also clear there that if they are W-2 employees on my real staff, I can expect more from them. I can expect them to wear my uniform. I can expect them to clock in and clock out on the app that we have. I can expect them to behave a certain way. I expect them. I can expect them to come for training. I can expect them to get feedback and improve when I ask them to, if there's a real need to do that. I expect them to go above and beyond because they're part of a team and they aren't a random person who happens to clean an office for me. They are someone in this community, and so that my expectations are allowed to be higher.
Yeah. But do you find with those higher expectations and treating them with that respect and giving them the training, right? Giving them the tools they need, do you get back additional loyalty from them as well?
100%. 100%. I mean, we don't have a problem finding people who want to work for us. Everybody recommends their friends, their neighbor, their cousin, and so we have a big, a deep bench, I like to say. So it's easy for us to restart a job, start a job once we have a new client. So it benefits us. Yeah, I mean, it's black and white. I mean, but originally when I started, the first job posting I had, I posted minimum wage because I guess it was really a test of the market. I guess it was minimum wage because I guess it's cleaning. I tried that. The caliber of people who were coming were maybe people who would just be able to physically clean, but we're not able to bring any of the other things: coming on time, coming early, being able to communicate well, improving things that needed improvement. Like all the other things that I feel like we are really selling. It's not the cleaning that we are selling. It's not how amazing we are at mopping. All of those are teachable skills. I mean, we hear that a lot. All of those things are teachable. What you can't teach for, or you can't hire, or sorry, you can't train someone to have a better attitude, an open mind, kind of an open heart to criticism when they're doing something wrong. And those things are both crew members and executives.
Yeah, and when you think about that, you're building trust with them. So I assume the retention rates are much
Yeah.
higher from what you're dealing with.
Some of our crew members have been with us 5-6 years. Yeah. So since the start, no problem. Maybe a call out a year, and we have plenty of notice. So all really fair treatment from my employees, and so fair treatment to them. It goes both ways.
Yeah, and in the industry, what would you say on average
I
is
don't
the
know. I
retention
hear
rate?
bad things. I hear bad things, and we frequently get offers to get subbed out by other bigger cleaning companies, and they want to um, reimburse us at minimum wage levels. And I just have the conversation, leader to leader, of like, where do you find, in your experience, where have you found good employees, somebody who wants to show up for minimum wage? I would be happy to do that for you. You tell me which website that is. I'll go out and spend a couple hours looking for people. But in my experience, looking for people, if you offer them a wage that they cannot even try to live off of, um, I don't know what you expect besides a 2-week kind of stint at your company, and then they disappear, surprise, and then you're surprised. Just
Yeah.
take two steps and think about it. Take a beat, think about it.
Well, and the cost of that turnover is
Right.
significant, right? So,
The Yeah,
I'm
it's
just going in regular corporate, right? Like you have to retrain, you have to train the new people, onboard them. Now you have to get the customer comfortable with them.
and really in our experiences that the client just cuts the contract because there are so many other cleaning companies. The bar is low. There's a million other people who are calling them every month. Hey, when's your contract up? Whatever. So it's easy for a client just to flip and get another, green squeaky cleaning is next door anyway. So it's really not even about the training and the time that you take to get the employee. That's certainly a cost, but I see that the bigger cost is really the client relationship, because our clients have been with us for many years. They refer us other big institutions, and we just uh, get bigger clients because people trust us because we have consistently done the right thing.
Yeah. So for the audience that's following along on here, right? When you treat your people well, they stay, right? So your retention numbers are much better. You're saving money for retraining. They're more productive, right? They're more engaged. They're probably innovative. Do you have anyone? I think we talked about the
100%.
coming up with new ideas, how you can
Yeah.
improve things.
I was blown away across the board. Cleaners are taking pictures of things that they absolutely weren't asked for in our training, but now we have added it to our training to say, if something's broken, something outside of your scope, take some videos. What about maintenance things that the office needs? Yeah, those kinds of things come to mind. People are doing things. I feel like they want to see me succeed because when I succeed, they succeed. If I can give them 40 hours of work or more with overtime, ideal for everybody. And the better the company does, the more vacation time I can offer, the more the better benefits we can do, the more profit sharing eventually we can do. It's a very simple process.
Yeah. And having the business background, you've done the math on this. So paying the higher rates is actually better for the
Yeah,
bottom line.
right. Without a doubt.
And
I mean, KKR has done big studies on this with like profit sharing with employees. There's a guy, Peter Stavros, I think, is like leading that charge at KKR. So these are not tiny little pockets of justice here in Park Slope. This is something that has been going on for many years. The ESOP movement also is
yeah,
widening across the countries where the company is actually owned by employees. It's a nice concept. It sounds great, but it also has real results. People are more motivated to do the right thing at all levels when they know that we're all in this together, and that there's like a vision and a shared goal.
the shared goal, right? That is, and we talk about it in the E3, is like express the end vision, right? Why are we doing? What does it mean? How does it, you know, apply to you? That gets people motivated. They want to do more. And for our listeners, by the way, this is not just in the cleaning business or family run businesses. It is proven that companies are 23% more profitable when they first focus on their people. And we talked a little bit, but you had mentioned that your customer retention rate is also much higher because your employees are staying.
Yes.
Um,
I have seen amazing things between the relationship between the clients and the cleaners that they have on site as well. I mean, Christmas bonuses, tips here and there. They ask me if that's okay, and I said that's between you guys. Of course, it's okay. Everyone who doesn't like a tip, who doesn't love a Christmas present, and I don't think that that's very common in a cleaning company that you're showing a lot of respect both ways. So I think it also that vision that we lead with. Um, Also attracts the types of clients that want to have less problems in the office, that want to deal with people who are competent at the leadership level, but literally at the crew level. Also, they're competent people showing up every night, reliably doing the thing. If there's feedback, they put the coffee back in the right place. It's not a complicated exercise. It's just about kind of seeing what's right and then just doing it.
yep, I love it. I mean, it's great when you can talk to people that are actually doing it. This isn't theory. This is proven, and you do it day in. You've been doing this for multiple years now and building this business as a result of it. Let's talk about. I gotta believe it's not always easy.
No, no, it is
So
not.
doing the right thing is easy to say, right? But it gets hard when you have to sustain it under pressure. So, what pressures do you find that makes it difficult for a small business to really stay and maintain your integrity?
Yep. A lot of clients turn us down because they say that, this guy's $4 cheaper, this guy's $6 cheaper. Um, your quote was 30% more, or, whatever it is. And I question. So maybe we should go lower. If everybody is subbing it out, what am I doing? Wasting my time here. Um, but I've had enough wins to know that it's still okay. It would be ideal if I could do it this way, that I have less headaches with my cleaners, less headaches with my management, if we're doing it the right way. So it's just about waiting it out and knowing that the business model is working. It's just that it's difficult sometimes when clients who say, we like what you're saying, we like how you treat them, we like what you do. It does sound nice to have a less of a headache, but realistically, our budget is what our budget is, and so it's about kind of finding the right clients who we align with. A lot of nonprofits love us for that. A lot of legal offices like us for that. Also, it's also a liability issue, the subbing it out,
Mm.
and so we lead with that. When we don't, you really create a problem if we were to sub out the labor, and then you have a 1099 person on at your office and there's an accident or any kind of issue. Whose employee is it? If it's not my employee and you're paying so low, is it your employee? Is it my employee? Like, suddenly it becomes a real liability. So law firms love us for that, and then nonprofits really align with the message as well.
I love it. Have you had any clients or, prospects that said no and then come back and said, "Oh my gosh,
Yes,
made
that's
a
my
mistake"?
favorite. Oh, absolutely. I'm like, I know, I know, I know. I telling you, I've been doing it. I just like, this is the way. I mean, long term, that first year, they're nervous. They're like, absolutely not. This is crazy. What kind of like number is that? I'm like, it's honestly, it's a couple $100 here and there. Like, let's be honest, this is New York or Miami. Like, there's a budget. It's not, if you understand what you're paying for, it's clear. Like, you're paying for the hours and the headaches and your employees who are using the space. All that stuff adds up. So it's really, it's a no-brainer, but it takes a little bit of education. That's why I'm out here on LinkedIn posting about like how much value we bring, because there really is a big difference. But yes, we have people come back who say absolutely not, no way, and then they come back and I'm like, yes. And we're happy to do it. It's real hard work and it's not easy to do, but then we're thrilled to have people back.
Yeah, I love it. And do you have any story? Like, I see some of your stories, and I'm trying to think of some of them on the top of mind. You're probably having close that you want to share with our audience of what you've seen and what's worked.
Um, what's worked with in terms of what in
Just one of the stories you've posted and why this is better.
um and let me think for a second. I think like
Yeah,
a
I put
lot
you on
of,
the
yeah. One thing that I got a lot of spice on LinkedIn for was I wrote that people don't, I don't fire people, they fire themselves. And I think that comes with, and it's a really, I feel kind of torn when I have to fire someone, but then I forgot who told me. Somebody, some mentor or some professor told me like they are really firing themselves, that they did enough things. Check, it's not three red flags for me. It's probably like five or six, and I should have fired them earlier. But they, don't show up, don't appreciate it, aren't consistent, and not doing the things that we need them to do. And if we're paying a premium, I expect a premium, because it's just that's the name of the game. The game is better service and a better result.
But I think you're demonstrating real leadership there, right? And you're expressing the envision of what you expect, right? How many people tell someone, go clean this space or go code this project, and don't give them an understanding of what your expectations are,
Yes,
right? So to your point, they are firing themselves. They know what they need to do, and they're choosing not to do what they need to do.
yes. Yes, we put a lot of effort into making sure that the environment is prepared for them, meaning supplies are there, the right ones are there. When they make a request for new supplies, we're on it. The scope is written out, they're walked through with a manager, they're supervised. We put a lot of effort into making sure that they could do their job, and then it's up to people to show up at the time and get the job done. So
Perfect. So what advice do you have? Because, in theory, this sounds great. We talked about that this can be difficult. What advice do you have for other leaders that want to balance profitability with people first leadership?
um advice is that, find a community, hear experiences from other business owners and business leaders, because I don't think that this is so kind of scandalous or particularly left scope. From all of my successful business owner friends, they've said similar things, that if they are able to talk to their teams like normal people, then they get normal results. And from companies who I have worked with, that when they talk down to us, to me, to my managers, it's it's an obvious red flag that it's a short term win. So I would say find other business owners who are successful, and most of the time they're saying similar things. I mean, Jamie Dimon says things like this: you have to take care of your employees, and he practices what he preaches. Their like minimum, their minimum hourly rate is pretty high for New York City, like more than what it needs to be. So just really keep your ears and eyes open to what's happening in the market. So I think that there's a lot more of us than it seems sometimes.
Yeah. And when I look at it, it starts at the top, right? So as a business owner, you're setting that expectation, you're setting the culture, but as you continue to grow, right, your responsibility is make sure all of your supervisors, and because eventually you won't be able to talk to every individual cleaner, right? You're going to be relying on others.
I don't already, thank goodness. I have like bigger fish to fry finally.
Yeah. And so you've got to be able to make sure they're capable, right? Those next level of line managers are doing the same thing that you believe in and you're preaching.
Yes. My ops manager is fantastic. She started with us as a cleaner a few years ago, and she started as a cleaner, moved on to site supervisor, did a year or two as site supervisor, was showing up on sites, surprising everyone, and doing kind of quality checks and meeting with clients. And then now she's promoted to an ops manager and killing it. Um, so she passes the message along because it happened to her, and so she knows that I treated her like a normal human being because she's always been a normal human being when she started as a cleaner. And she knows that that's the right way to hire people and what red flags to look out for. The number one factors we are hiring for is a good normal human being. So
Yep. Love it. Ralph's been asking a lot of questions, but we've been answering them as we go along. But he's
mhm.
got one now. How do you find a work life balance when you're running a conscious business?
I'm having a great time. I don't feel like I'm working, so I'm very balanced. I hang out with my kids in the morning, drop them off at school. I'm able to work in the middle of the day, and then I run back home and pick them up, and they go to sleep at 7. They're still pretty young, and then I always have time for emergencies in the evening. But typically, honestly, we don't have a lot of headaches because I think I've set up things in the right way. It is rare that we have an emergency. I mean, an emergency at night, like a key card doesn't work or something is a miss or someone's calling out. It's rare. And then when it does happen, we have processes in place. We took a lot of time these last 2 years writing everything out first on paper. So that's another piece of advice. If you're trying to organize your company, write everything out on a big piece of paper, real paper, and then start kind of optimizing and organizing those things electronically. But the processes, so setting things up the right way, eliminates, I think, a lot of problems. And also never panic. I tell my kids, but they're like 3 and 5. I don't think the message lands. Like never panic. Like something just happened crazy right before this meeting, but I'm just cool as a cucumber, um, and keep it moving. And these things are always going to happen. They're guaranteed to happen. Clients will leave you as a surprise. Crew members will leave you as a surprise. No panicking.
Yeah. Before we came on, you talked about how you want to help inspire other businesses to, take on this model, do the right thing, think long term. You know, what advice do you have for folks to get started and to rethink how they're running their businesses?
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's about drawing the company vision and goals, kind of approach it academically. Pretend it's a school project. You have your thesis, what your goals are, 3 steps, and a little conclusion. You really have to approach it organized. The more organized you are, then the more organized the company is going to be. Have documents all in one place. Have your go through your folders. Kind of all the operation stuff that my ops manager needs is in one big document or one big folder. It's all there. I also have taken a lot of responsibility to make sure that it's prepared for her, and kind of just prepare the situation for yourself. If you want to lead in in the way that you want to lead, take some time and offline and think about it, and prepare yourself.
Excellent advice. And when you think about it, that's your playbook, right? To always come back. You said you have emergencies that come
All
up,
that, yeah, yeah, things happen,
but you
but
have
we're
your
expecting them. I mean, it's not such an emergency if you're expecting. There will be call outs. We have a call out list. There will be random sick days. We have 2 or 3 people in line who are, first of all, trained on that place. So typically we have the same client, the same cleaner at the same location. But before the holidays and before a couple of months, we put somebody in rotation just because, and we waste some money. We put somebody in rotation that they know the place before it's like 7 o'clock. Hey, I can't make it tonight, or because whatever. um, we already know that cleaner number 2 already knows the place. So it's not the end of the world if we have a replacement.
So I'm going to reframe that
It's
word
going
you
to happen.
said.
Yeah.
We waste some money. No, you invest some
Yeah.
money
Right.
for the
Yeah.
long-term strategy, right?
Yes.
And that's the
Yes.
point for our audience here is when you start with a people first strategy, that is how you're going to build and scale a business successfully.
Yeah. Yeah. People first internally, but really externally also. The clients are real people and they have their own, for us, they have their own workspaces and they need the places ready. Because they have their own clients and their own employees who rely on a place that's prepared, and it's all about doing the right thing for all the counterparties.
So if you compare year 1 to year 6 now, right?
Yeah.
Is it a lot easier now than it was in year 1?
Things are easier. It is easier because we know what we're doing, what kind of clients we're going for, and I'm not as heartbroken when we miss out on clients that are not for us. So that's easier. I don't take it as personally. Um, what's Yeah, certain things are definitely easier. We're bigger. We have more confidence. I mean, also we're confident. I'm confident because of our competency. We have clients who are thrilled, happy, thrilled, referring us their other partners, their clients, and we're getting bigger and bigger clients because it's working. So
Excellent. Well, Diana, bravo to you. I love watching your business grow. I love hearing the stories. This is not theory. You're actually practicing all of the right good behaviors and you're benefiting from it.
yeah,
So great job. So for the audience, thank you so much for joining us. I think today's conversation is such an important reminder for us that integrity is not a slogan. It's a series of decisions. And over time, these decisions start to build that trust, that culture, that performance, and ultimately the kind of business that people want to work for and with. So, if you want to learn more, please connect with Diana on LinkedIn, or you can go to Park Slope Cleaning as well. We'll put the links in the show notes. Also, if you want to learn how to lead with more human first strategies, check out my new book, The E3 Leadership Code, A Human Approach to High Performance. And you can find that at kathyeastwood.com. Thanks so much for joining us. Diana, thank you again.
thank you,
And
Debbie.
have a great weekend, all. Take care.